Okay, this is section 6.5, but these are the more advanced equations that you're going to have to solve. All right, everybody look at problem 4.
We did this one. We have to do problem
I know we
5.
did it, we're just going back into it again.
Okay.
So, can you tell me, see if, don't look at your notes, see if you can recall how to do this problem. What would you first do?
Add 5.
Add 5. You want to isolate this radical. And by the way, could they have given you this equation written a little differently? Anyone think they know what it would look like if it were written differently? What's the other version of this question?
Negative.
7. 1/2.
Good job. To the 1/2 power minus 5 equals x. So these two mean the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So you all said add 5 to the other side, right? You're trying to isolate this radical. Now, tell me, talk to me.
Now you square.
Square
both.
Square both sides. If you square this side, that's easy, you get x plus 7. But squaring this side confuses students. Because what they want to do, they want to take the easiest route and square each of these individually, but you
foil it.
can't do that. Yes, you have to foil it. You can't square this and write x squared plus 25. If you do, don't bother doing the problems because it'll be wrong. You're going to have to square this quantity. So what do you get when you square x plus 5?
X
X
plus
squared
5.
plus 10x plus 25.
Yep. Now, you should see a problem that has x squared as the degree is x squared. It's a quadratic equation. So how do you solve this now? What do you have to do to everything? Send it to the other side. Send it to one side. What's the side that makes more sense?
Put them all in.
We're gonna move these two over here. So are you guys okay with doing these all in one shot, subtract
Yeah.
x? Just because we wanna save room.
18. Yep. So x squared plus 9x. 18.
Now, how do you solve one of these quadratics? You have to factor it.
6 and 3.
6 and 3 multiply to give you 18 and add to be 9. And your two possible solutions are -6 and -3. These are possible. What do we have to do at
Check
this
for
point?
extraneous.
You have to plug them in and see what works. One of them works, -3 works, and -6 is extraneous, right?
Weird shit.
Someone tell me how to do this, and this is a +3, by the way. I wanna
Minus
hear
3.
you loud and clear. Tell me
Subtract
what to do.
3.
Subtract 3.
Subtract 3, okay then? Quick,
Square.
So square root.
square both sides. Square both sides.
Not square
So
root.
you get 5x minus 1 equals, what's the right
X
side?
squared minus 6x
Mhm.
plus 9.
Okay, is there anyone lost on that step right there? Then what?
Plus 1 and or minus 5x and plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
So minus 11 minus 10 plus 10.
Good, and then what?
Yeah, factor.
I think -10 and -1 multiply to give you 10 and add to be -11. Okay, so what two, is
One
everyone,
is
did everybody write this down?
1 is extraneous times the other 3.
1 is extraneous,
Yes.
and he is correct. 1 does not work. 1 is extraneous, cross it out. Now, what's different about, look at these two equations right here. Now we're gonna go one step deeper into these types of problems. What do you notice about,
Now you have
what do you have in this problem that you didn't have in
2
that?
squared.
single
You have
radical.
2 radicals now. So what you're gonna do is, if you have an equation with two radicals, you're gonna wanna isolate, put one radical on each side. Now, if this one were a 0, if it were a 0, okay, let's review, because this is we did these on Friday. If this one were a 0, this would be easy. We would bring this to the other side, right?
Square both sides.
And this would become a positive x. And now we're gonna peel, like if this were an orange, we're gonna peel this off and this off. Why can we do that?
Square it.
Because they're both square root, they have the same index. So really mathematically what you're doing is you're squaring both sides. So you just have this simple equation, right? So you'd have x is equal to -1. If you had that. You don't have that, you have a 1 here. So when you bring this to the other side, you're gonna wanna bring this to the other side. Now, just like we couldn't do up here, we couldn't square these individually, you can't do that with this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna square the left side, and you have to square the right side. The left side is the easiest to do. You're gonna have just 2x plus 1. What do you have on the right side?
1x.
Okay, that's what, I'm gonna write it out. Now, we just took a quiz on this. So everyone should be able to FOIL this. What's the square root of x times the square root of x? X. What's the square root of x times 1?
Square root of x.
And then you have another one of them. And then 1 times 1 is 1. Anybody have any questions so far? What could you combine on the right side?
1x.
The 1x.
1 root x.
Isn't 1 root x plus 1 root x, isn't this equal to 2 root x?
Yes.
Do you see something you can cancel out on both sides? These ones cancel. And now, can I bring this x to the other side? So if you subtract x here, so what you're doing is you're getting this square root by itself again. What you're gonna have to do in these problems is you're gonna have to square both sides 2 times. We did it once already, and now we're gonna do it again. So now, how do you square this side? That's easy. How do you square this side? What do you get? Not 2x, I agree with the x, but what kind of 4x? Why 4x? You have to square both of these. Now subtract 4x. Set this, again, it's a quadratic, set it equal to 0. And
Where'd the
that's
x go?
4x. Now, how do you factor this? Take out an x, and you're left with x minus 4. Do you agree? You took out, you brought this over, it became -4x. You pull out a common x, a GCF and x, and you're left with x minus 4. So your 2 possible solutions are 0 and 4. X equals 0 and x equals 4 are possibilities. We need to check them. So let's plug them in. Which ones work, which ones don't? Which one works, which one doesn't? Or do they both work? Maybe they both work.
0 works.
0 works? Okay, let's check it out.
Well,
If you plug a 0 in here, you end up with 1 minus 0 is 1. So it worked. How about 4? If you put a 4 right here, 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9, so 3. 3 minus,
Yep, that works.
and that one works as well. They both work. So when we were checking these extraneous solutions, a lot of times one of them didn't work. Huh?
Draw your exclamation point.
Oh, it bothers you, huh? Yep.
OCD.
Let's just go back to there.
Okay. Alexis, you good? Tell me what part you lost in.
Oh, yeah.
You get it? Okay, well, we're gonna all try, I want a thumbs up when I'm done here. How do you do this problem? Let's see if you can do this on your own. I'm gonna do each step up here, and I want you to check your paper and see if you've got it. Everybody check for step one. Step two. Can anyone square this in their head?
I did.
Okay, good.
The x plus 8, well, at the end I added the like term as well. 8 root x plus 16.
Is that right? Next. Next. I'm gonna get, you wanna get this by itself, this 8 root x, you wanna get it alone. So these two, ship them to the other side. We're gonna subtract an x, and we're gonna subtract 16. So I get 4x minus 12. Now what you could do, did any, huh? How about, you can't do 8. How about 4? Because 4 is, you could divide this by 4, this by 4, and this by 4. So you get x minus 3 equals 2 root x. Uh-oh, now what? Gotta square both sides again. So on the right, you get 4x. On the left, you get x squared minus 6x plus 9. Subtract 4x. And factor. Negative 9 times negative 1 is 9 and adds to the negative 10. So what are your two possibilities? 9 and 1. X equals 9 and x equals 1 are your possibilities. But 1 doesn't work. I'll tell you why, because 5 times 1 is 5, 5 plus 4 is 9, square root of 9 is 3, and 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 does not equal 4.
So these are like the longest problems
Yeah.
we've had so far. So how many of these do you expect us to have?
One.
One of them?
1. Okay, so flip over. I want you to check your answers to your homework. How far did we get? What did we do?
We stopped at 26.
Yeah, the last 6? Okay. Okay, good. So I just want to double check if everyone has their answers right. For number 9, you should have 16. 10 is 1. 11 is 22. Stop me if you're, 15 is 4. 16 is 23. 17 is 2/3. 18 is 3 and negative 13. 19 is negative 29 and 25. 20 is 18. 21 is 78. 22 is 8. 23 is 0. We didn't do the bottom 6, right?
No.
Now, can anybody tell me how do you do 22? Actually,
22.
let's do, I know we did them together. let's do 18. Just tell me how to do 18. How do you do it? See if you remember. It says x plus 5 to the 2/3 power equals 4. Do you remember how to do this? How many answers are there gonna be?
2.
Do you remember what I told you to do? Look at
Check the
this.
numerator.
If that's even, there's gonna be 2 answers. So what do you first do?
Times by the power of 3.
Raise both sides to 3, to the 3rd power. So you get x plus 5 squared equals, what's 4 times 4 times 4? Now do you remember what to do? Tell me.
Root
Yeah, square root both sides. So you get
x
x plus 5 equals plus or minus 8. So you have x plus 5 equals 8, and x plus 5 equals negative 8, right? So subtract 5, you get 3. Subtract 5 and you get negative 13. So that's how you should study for your test. You're gonna go back, I asked you guys the question, do you remember how to do this?
Yeah.
And some of you guys said no, I heard a no. So this is what you need to do, because when we did these on Friday, you guys all thumbs up, you told me, I get it, I understand it. You guys all said this is easy. And now, today, all of a sudden you don't remember it. The only reason why you don't remember it is because you need to keep practicing them. You need to revisit, practice. Your brain has to be conditioned to look at it, and then you have to ask yourself, how do you do this? What's step 1? So if you don't remember, you need to go back and look at your notes. Now, if it was like number 20, this says 3 times x minus 2, and this says to the 3/4 power equals 24. I think it says 3/4, yeah, I'm gonna say 3/4. How many answers are there gonna be for this problem?
1.
How do you know that? What did I tell you to look at?
I.
Numerator's
The it says 3/4. The 3, because it's odd, there's only gonna be one answer. Now, how can I do this problem easy? What's step 1? 3 times x minus 2. I need to get rid of that 3 in front.
Divide the 24 by
Yes.
3.
Yep. So you get x minus 2 to the 3/4 power equals 8. Now what? Yep, I'm gonna multiply this by, or raise it to the 4/3 power. So you end up with x minus 2 equals, I need to do this problem. Now there's 2 ways you can do it. 8 to the 4/3.
Cube.
Can you rewrite this as a mixed number? It's 1 and 1/3. So it's 8 times the cube root of 8.
I don't like
What's the
turning
algebra
into a
doing
mixed
that?
number.
Well, you may not have a calculator. What's the cube root of 8 is 2, and 8 times 2 is 16. Or what you could do, 8 to the 4/3 power. Some of you prefer this way. This is the cube root of 8, but we have 4 of them. So what are we looking for? 3 of a kind. You have 8, 8, 8. Some of you guys like this way better. So you're looking for 3 of a kind. There's 1. So that comes out. Here comes 8. And then you've got 8 is 2, 2, 2, and then you take the 2 out. It's the same thing, you guys. You like this way better? Stick with what you're best at. So anyways, you had a 16 here. This is actually equal to 16. And now add 2. Answer's 18. You remember this stuff, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna work on the last set of problems. This is your homework for tonight. It is these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We did the other problems, right?
So,
So we have 6 on this front page.
4 in the other.
These are like these are like problem 4. So problem 4, there were 2 examples we did that are just like that one. Make sure you check for extraneous solutions. Then on the back side, you should have 4 more. And these are like the last example 5. So these are your homework for today. These 4 and then the ones on the previous page.
Oh.